In this lesson, I'd like to share with you how I drew 3 various homes on the ground in preparation for digging the foundations. Okay, so we get the 2 side pegs. Besides magnetic north, I'm also considering the view, and I don't want the house to look at the electrical pole. I'm gonna turn it ever so slightly to the right, just to consider the view. The bamboo room is gonna look there, the center vault is gonna look there, and the dome entrance is gonna go look there, yeah? Because this is not cold climate, having it exactly magnetic north is not imperative. Okay, so the next step is to find the center from the left and the right peg. That's what I did. I brought it here and I found the next line. Now I don't know if it's exactly perpendicular, and I need to have it perpendicular. So I need to measure from this peg to that peg, and let's say it's 11.2. Let's just say, and from that peg to that peg, let's say it's 11.5. That means the difference is 30. So I need to take 15 out of there, and I need to add 15 to that side, and then it will be perfect. So that's what okay, Ronaldo is proposing that we make a triangle and we find a half. So then let's get that point to this here. So we double check. 1124. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all the points from here translated on the land. 76 and 249, just like per the drawing. That's it. Basically we've gone from the top front center to this 9.5 as per the drawing, and then we've gone to the center of the dome. That gave us a diagonal line that marks the center of the entrance, which is 213 wide, 213 centimeters. Okay, so that's what we've got now. The 230, and now we're marking the outside of the foundation. Any tool, a flat spade is also, if a spade is flat, 35 centimeters. Yeah. More or less, you know. Basically I found the center point, 178, okay, and then I found the edge, the outer edge, which I put a peg there. It's in line with the center point. So this part of this pick, after I've drawn it, I'm using this part of the pick to make it sharper. The reason in the beginning I'm using this part of the pick is because I've got the geometry, the sacred geometry in my hand, and it's much easier. Like here, I'm gonna start. So I need to come to the center. I need to know where the center is. Step in here. Okay. I walk around inside the shower. Okay. There is a shower head here. Alright. Okay. Okay. So that's the outside. The inside is 35. I'm gonna just clean up the line with maybe like that spade, the straight spade would be good, but wherever I can clean out the line, I'm gonna clean out the line. We're drawing a water tank. Show where 70 is with your finger. Yeah, so 70, just mark it there. We'll make it a bit bigger, don't worry. And that's the start of the water tank. And then I'm just gonna free wheel it. So I'm marking the lines of the eye. Still, that's probably the first thing that should have happened. And there's the house coming along. And there's the water tank. We're just having a flood with the rain. And this is the 4th car that's getting stuck here today. Okay, so that's the first half day. Started digging. The lime is disappearing in the rain. The lime. Just making the line sharper.
Like open the leg, white cable.
We have.
Right?
We have that.
And then we're going to have the second line here, going from our whiskers.
Боже правый.
I'm stuck again. It's the start has happened, so it's Vesica Pisces. Turn them upside down, yeah, so I can hammer them straight away, all of them straight away upside down actually. Something else, when you removed around here, obviously creates a little trench, so you move the soil back. Probably a little pedantic, but I'm getting just the biomass all collected into little piles here alone. And I think if I had a friend here and we were doing this together, it'd be so much more fun. Yeah, I don't have friends in this area. I only have 2 friends in Moscow, whom I went to visit recently, and it was fabulous. But otherwise, I really wish like-minded people would come and stay nearby, buy these villages for ridiculously low prices nearby, set up their homesteads, and then we could collaborate, build together. That's my dream.
Айланып келген жажылжа салдың күгін еле.
So I know that plywood is square, so I double checked on it. Yeah, now I've got a drawing on the computer. I need to draw it on this. They are identical in size. I've double checked. These two lines are the same as, well, first of all, it's 1.618, bigger than this line, which is quite cool. So it's already a sacred geometrical start. The Vesica Pisces, and I've got the same shape on the computer. As I said, I've gone a 20% bigger than the American 200 square footer. So it's going to be probably 240 square foot. But it's fine, I don't have any restrictions. I'm my rhinoceros. I'm going to start with point number 1. Okay, this is getting much better, but it's cooler. I like it. Put the first circle. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get lime, then I'll have a nice white lines, marked out for you guys, so you can see it clearly, just for the sake of the lesson, but you don't have to do this when you're at home. Basically, once you're happy with the shape, you got to make a mark straight away. Let's see how much that is. Yeah, that's 25 centimeters ish, So now you remember that, and you just, that's your guide. And for me it's also a big step actually, because after drawing the egg room since 2009, 2010, I'm finally going to be standing inside the egg room in about 15 seconds. Yeah, so for me it's been a really mind to get out of paper and to start building, although I have been building, but as I said, I always built with other students and other workers, and there's been other people always in the build. That's the bottom line, to do the work, to co-create with, and then he's got a wife like Zoya who's keen to help. All right. Now take away the size of the bag. That's the width of the bag to the edge of this, yeah? And that's now your room. It's small. So there it is. That's my geodesic dome. Boom. But right now, up until this point, I needed nothing much except I actually haven't spent anything. It's just been my own hands and just a bit of petrol to fetch the tires, but I still go to town anyway. When I go to town, I fetch the tires. So I've got this is going to be a little kitchen, by the way, a place, counters, little rocket stove couch. It's pretty good. A nice dream that there was a cylinder. They used them for transport petrol. Had a dream that I was like on a building site, and I was like, oh look, Mike Reynolds, the Earthship guy, quite a cool little container he's got to, that's his like a little on-site workshop where the tools are. There was like a big saw that cutting wood and like all bunch of equipment. And I walked into this little thing, and it was so beautifully done. It was wood, and it says, this way. and inside it's like a cylinder, yeah, so it's all made with little wooden slat and double bunker beds. The two are just slightly out, and I realized that that's about our workshops in the future, so it was such a nice feeling to wake up to that. Hope it to be a reality. Hope you guys can come here one day. Searching where to chow. Three 100 and my measuring tape is only 3 meters, so I need to get a bigger one. For 815. North starts here, and this is an extra 10 centimeters. So that's fine, it was perfect. Okay, so one reason you don't want to dig before you've actually marked everything out, because you see the stick is obviously right at the center at the bottom, because if you don't put it straight, skew, so the bottom is obviously closest to the original center, and if I put it right at the bottom, I have all these lumps of soil which are disturbing me right now. So as excited I was to dig, first mark everything out and then get digging. So the reason I'm doing the stick is because this got a little loop and I can measure exact to the center. Okay, on my marking it's and the reason that I have this second ruler is because I get the perpendicular line. Just wanted to give you a little close-up. 1156 locked it where the tape is, and it is 90 degrees. I mean, that's your check more or less. So if you skew like this, you know something is out. Although this is not, you don't need to have this as exactly 90 degrees. You need to have this distance to what we are asking and this distance to what we are asking. And then where they cross, that should be more or less 90 degrees, and game on. And that's the mark, which I spoke of on the straight edge. Okay, ends of the tunnel. When you mark on your line, I think it'll be easiest for you just to put your pegs in for the tunnels and then just do a string one time. Because now every time I end, tie knot, start again, tie knot, you could just put your pegs in. There's your front line of the tunnel. So these are and same story. Here's your another front line of the tunnel. Then the foundations, we're just going to dig off that. I'm going to keep it open because this back wall can be as wide as you want the berm to be, because that will hold the berm. Yeah, so they'll probably go a couple of meters, you know, for the burial.
Qancha chaqa diwitsin, qaysizdirdi alqayı.
I'm standing this way, when I get this curve, I take with a pick this way. When I need to do the inner curve, I go in this way, because I've got the geometry in my hands. You've got the sacred geometry in your hands. You know, you can freestyle it, and basically that's going to be the shape of your room. The reason it's specific because I tried to go with the 200 square foot size, excluding the tunnels and the geodome, but I don't think your building inspector is going to have the brain capacity to measure out the square foot on this house. Yeah, that's good. So now obviously you've got the width of just 10 inches. 10 inches trench on the inside here, on the inside here. That's the tunnel, that's your main wall. That's the front of the tunnel. This bag can actually, I'd push this bag actually forward because we don't want the bag to eat. Although in my drawing it's on the inside, we want this to be a wetland. This is already want our growing area to be as big as possible. So I'm going to cheat a little. I'm going to take my tunnel on the outside of this line and not on the inside of this line. The tunnel, the polycarbonate can still stay here or even a little bigger, or at least even in the center of this line. I'd feel terrible to lose another 10 inches inside my already small growing area. Okay, so this is a little room I've added as an afterthought. The foundation would obviously be on the inside, and you know, you can test yourself out. The sauna, the main sauna dome. One could also just tie a string to the bottle, I guess. A tight foot. Since I don't have the restrictions, I'm going to increase this tunnel, you know, to this to the edge of this Vesica Pisces, and then the back wall will go further for the berm. So it'll, you know, this back wall of the tunnel, the main 45-degree wall, yeah, that will go further that way past, and then that will hold up the berm. The berm will be past the shape of the eye behind it, yeah. We want to keep up with the geometry because it's just gosh, there's a lot of things biting me. Look, so I'm going to take it through the center. So there's the old peg of the edge, and here is the line, so I'm, you know, it's touching, and there's a cross. Yeah, it's touching here, and it's touching there, the old line. So I'm not doing anything fancy. There's a reason why the tunnel is that specific shape, is because I'm following the triangulated geodesic geometry that I've cut out those wooden, those parts of the geodesic, and that's for giving me the shape of the tunnel. So I can't move it forward or back. So if I'm going to just move the bag forward, it's going to hang in the air. I need it to be on the, standing on, you know, the reason I'm doing this front wall is to support the polycarbonate structure tunnel, or glass, or wherever you may have it. So it's like a footing for it. So that's why I'm coming back about this much, so the polycarbonate can stay on the bag. So I can't have it here, and I can't, and I don't want it to have it here, because that'll eat up from my valuable excavation space for the wetland, because that's all of this is going to be excavated. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing such an odd shape. So obviously I'll rework it on the design, so you don't have to do this. You'll just dig the lines according to the design, and that will be precisely where the polycarbonate will need to, you know, the bottom of the tunnel will need to land. But because I'm kind of tweaking the design as I go, in my case, because it's fresh, some things I haven't thought through, some things I'm changing, so I'm just adapting as I go. So I just wanted to explain why this little funny gap is. So the bag is going to be starting here, it's going to end here, and where the line is, the bottom of polycarbonate tunnel will meet with the bag on this line. And I think most importantly, what I'm trying to teach you also is to have your own thinking mind in order, should you do any changes, and how I do the changes. As long as you keep up with the rules, there's no reason why you can't make the changes to your own home. There's no reason why you can't design your own home. So I've reached the end. Make sure that nothing is touching, or that it follows parallel, and then I just drop on it. And that's my new end of the tunnel. So yeah, these two pegs should be moving then here. Tunnel is a temporary structure, but this wall is not a temporary structure. Neither is this, but this wall is low. You know, it's going to be just this high, for example, so it's not going to be considered as, you could get away saying it's a bench, it's something I sit on, you know, or something my tunnel is resting on. It's not a permanent structure, although it is a permanent structure because you're putting cement in it. But I really didn't include the whole tunnel and the front part of the tunnel. I mean, this could be on those, what are those things called that you screw into the ground? They're temporary. So you could have your front of the tunnel. If your building inspectors are very sticky, you could have the whole front of the tunnel resting on those twisty things that screw into the ground. So then it's really a temporary structure. So a permanent structure starts from this line going back. Yeah, once you marked, then remove the string, because it's impossible to dig with the string in the way. So in my case, I didn't mark with lime, I just marked with a spade, yeah? And be careful not to go too deep, because you want to have two bags, so 20 centimeters level, to undisturbed earth. You don't want to disturb it further, because you want to put your bag onto undisturbed earth. On the line. this last Siberian build, we just made a rectangle, which is much simple. All you have to do is cross-reference diagonally, then the pegs forming the rectangle are all parallel.
Sığınaydım saltını
738, 748. So that one is 10 centimeters bigger. So it needs to come in by 5 in, and that needs to go 5 out. That will be then 743, and that will be 743.
Çarşı gönlü çalanda